All right, Wednesday morning here. Throw the primary clutch on here. Looked up what torques were on Arctic Cat for the 50 to 55 foot-pounds. And obviously you can see that torque wrench is in there real tight, so I'm going to wiggle that out of there. Anyhow, the belt drama. Went to the hardware store. This is standard measurements, you know, a 1/2 inch to 25 inch there. And these belts measure metric. The belts I get from eBay. This belt's way, I wouldn't say way too big. I haven't tried it yet, but it's a little thicker. When I tried going with the 3/8, it didn't have as much thickness as these other metric belts. But I actually found, I think, the belt I need on eBay. I went to a Goodyear website for belts and kind of cross-reference some stuff, and I came up with a better part number, I believe. I think I actually ordered the same belt twice under a different part number. Pretty sure that's what happened. Anyhow, you know, eBay, sometimes you don't have your stuff together, you can order the wrong stuff pretty easily. But yeah, the Chinese carburetor came in. The Bikini VM34. Box is a little banged up, but I took it out last night at work, grabbed it out of the mailbox, looked at it on my lunch break. Didn't take all the jets out to verify. Just looked at the needle. There's a little bit of metal shavings in there, nothing major, just a little bit. I'm gonna go through and clean it up, see what I got for jets. I'm gonna get it out of the box and start taking it apart. All right, here we go. Got the carb apart. Pilot jet is unmarked. Had a 125 main installed. It's got a 34 needle. Don't know really what that is. The ad on eBay said it had a 6D H4 needle. Ad on eBay said it had a 260 main. Ad on eBay said it had a 35 pilot. Well, none of that is the case. Different stuff. So yeah, typical. No surprise there. What engine I'm running, I think I'm supposed to have this set up. It should be a 300 main, 6DH3 needle, and a 22.5 pilot. I pulled a 22.5 pilot from the original fan air, from the original free air carburetor. That has a different needle. That would be running the DH6DH7 and a 230 main, and obviously the 22.5 pilot. I do have a few of those needles. The 6DH7s are in good shape. The needle that this 440 fanner calls for, the 6DH3, I have one, but it's not in really good shape. So I'm gonna roll the dice on this needle that came with this carb call. It's got 34 written on it. Yeah, you know, Chinese stuff. What do you expect? Yeah, and the slide and the clip is different than what I'm used to, style-wise. So yeah, I figured I'll stick with the needle here. Stick the pilot in from the old free air carb, and I bought a kit off eBay with mains. I got a 300 out of there. I'm gonna throw in here, and I'm gonna flush this thing out and blow it out with some air for putting it together. And then go get the boot on the intake, see how it mounts up. All right, got the carb all blown out, sorry. Yeah, but yeah, I've seen some, well, guess not important, I've seen some carbs get cleaned, and people just take the float ball off and hit it with, you know, carb cleaner. They don't take anything apart. They don't take the pilot out or anything. And, you know, take your pilot out, see those little holes there. You get in there with a piece of safety wire or a bread tie if they're real small. It's a little like 50 carb or 60 carb. They're really tiny, you know, like a bread tie or something, to get in there and clean them holes. Also from the top, the slotted part of the screw, there's holes. So I can get in that. Yeah, anyhow, yeah, but you know, with a tube on your brake cleaner or whatever, carb cleaner, blow the passages out, get in there with the nozzle, you know, with the rubber tip on it, and, you know, blow all these passages out. Where your fuel air screw is, blow that out. You know, they're pretty easy to get to. You got your idle there. Oops, sorry, fuel air there. You know, you kind of just get in there and blow all that out. Also with the float bowl, same deal. You know, jam the nozzle in those holes. Go the other direction too, through the tube. But yeah, once you take it apart, they'll get funky with, especially if you're using ethanol gas. You know, I run boat gas for a reason. But yeah, I got it all cleaned out. Gonna start putting it together and slap it on the intake. All right, got the bowl back on, and yeah, your the screw here, your air screw here. Usually just run that in, fuel air screw, mixture screw there. Run that in and seat it, and usually it's, from my experience, usually 1.5 to 2 turns out for being seated. Yeah, notice this thing. This is different here. This clip is different than what I'm used to on these Mikunis and Keens, but I'm assuming that's how it goes once you get the cable in there. We'll get to that when we get it on the machine. But yeah, this Carb, it's, the overall finish is rough. You know, you get what you pay for. This, you know, you look at one of the originals from Japan. It's smooth, and it polishes out pretty nice, and yeah, you can tell the difference in quality. Taking the gamble on this one, you know, but for the money, we'll see what happens. All right, got the Carb mocked up in there. Fits real good. We're gonna seal that boot up. I tried this belt and the fan drive just for the heck of it. And a 3/8 would have been way better to go with. I should have went with the smaller one. The reason why I didn't from the hardware store with the 3/8 is it wasn't as thick, the belt. But yeah, 3/8 is pretty much 9.5 millimeters is pretty sure what we need, which I ordered on eBay, but I'm gonna go exchange the standard belt at 1/2 inch one and get a 3/8 one just for the heck of it and see if I can find a decent hardware store. I mean, I'll use it as a spare, throw it in the trunk. But yeah, as you can see, it's awfully big. And that pulley doesn't want to go on the top pulley, so it's a struggle. But yeah, I'm going to pull that off or exchange that for a 3/8 belt and get this pipe glued up with some high temp. And I think we'll use Yama Bond on that boot there on the mating surface. It's probably fine, but a little assurance, you know. All right. Good morning, Friday morning here. Gonna look at some stuff on the old sled. Let's see what we got. All right, came out here to put these spark plug caps on. Actually got a pretty good deal on them. Actually from a local shop. I was looking on eBay and they're all like, you know, $12 to $15 once shipped, and got those for $6 and some stuff for the dirt bike, you know, fluids and whatnot. Got out of there a pretty decent price. Still waiting on the belt. Kind of some notes I got for the sizes, comparing belts, and there's a hardware store one I picked up. I'm gonna keep that as a spare probably. Still need to send back the other belt. Was going to get into the whole clutch alignment thing. I got on vintage sleds yesterday and found the measurements you get for checking your clutch alignment. Also going to see about cross-referencing these belts to other part numbers too. But yeah, got a message there, eBay. The filter came in. I want to kind of just, for the heck of it, compare this filter to what I got on my exciter. Pretty sure one of my exciters for dirt. I'm just curious what the difference is. One's obviously dirt, the other one's snow. But yeah, this tool here, this is a clutch alignment tool. It's actually for I think an 03 or an 05 F7. I just threw that up there yesterday just out of curiosity. Going to end up going with from the instructions on the manual here. Got off of a vintage sled. There's a link to stuff from 1978 models. I think it's like a 3-part manual. Covers all the 78 models. But yeah, I came across what we'd be after here for our measurements. Looks like just a straight edge. The tool, from what I can read online, somebody posted it's 18 inches long, just under ½ inch thick. I don't know if I have anything exactly like that, but straight edge of some sort to get a good reference going on what I need. But for now, let's go take a peek and compare these filters to the one out in the shed on the exciter. All right, out in the shed here at the old exciter. Looks like that's just got like a pre-filter, if you will. Yeah. Outer filter, or whatever you want to call it. Looks like it's a little, coarseness is different. Yeah. This is the word I was looking for. But yeah. Yeah, it looks like it's an angled filter also. So yeah, I can see the differences now. Yeah, for sure. Also, yeah, got a trespasser in here. Caught one. You lay out by the trap. Anyhow, here's the exciter. Lives out in the shed. Yeah, I glanced at the secondary real quick. It's kind of just like that one on that Cat. I guess that's how they were back then. I'm used to them sitting different in the 90s machines. Yeah, we'll go in there and see what I can find for a straight edge. Take a peek while I'm out here too. Wasn't finding anything in there the right thickness. Might have to do something with some tape. Tape up a few different pieces. Alright, I didn't have any luck with steel out in the shed there. This is what I got in here. It's long pieces, about 19 inches or whatever. It's only 3/16 thick. I got some quarter and some other stuff I guess I can measure. I'll see what I get close to ½ an inch and let sit in the secondary. I think the idea is just to get, for now, just get a good gauge of where it's at. I did have to drill that motor plate a little bit. Nothing crazy, just in one hole. I had to elongate it. Would be, I believe it was this hole over here. I drilled a new hole for that one. This one I had to elongate a little bit, and it was more for a back and forth, not a side to side. So I think we should be good there on that one measurement. And then here, if there's something off, you shim the secondary. It's got a little bit of float. It could probably, maybe you could use a shim job. We'll see here. But air filter wise, this is definitely coarser, and it talks about using the Uni air filter oil. I left my dirt bike air filter oil up north of my buddy's cabin. It's kind of intentional. I figured I'd get a new bottle. Of course, I haven't remembered, but yeah, for dirt, I could see, really being concerned with oiliness. I might, just for shits and grins, hit it with the K&N filter lightly. Their oil, just light spray. But being that it's coarse, I'll probably do a little reading on lunch about that before I do it. But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people who run sleds without air boxes and velocity stacks or whatnot. And air boxes, they don't have any, all the ones I've opened up, there's nothing really in them except for maybe a metal screen. But for now, yeah, I'm gonna throw a straight edge on there and get a quick this parallel measurement here, and see what dimensions I come up with. All right, did some measuring as best I could. Use a caliper, a 6-inch rule to get in there. This is saying you should be 24 to 26 millimeters for your offset check, but that's also with the original clutch. This isn't even the original engine. That clutch was on the original engine, but it's not the original clutch. and setting it on top, it seemed like it was going to put the same scenario, give me the same scenario. I mean, I'd rather keep the clutch that came on the engine on there and run it, see what happens. Yeah, I would like to see, when this way the secondary opens up, it will, that inner sheave, if you can see that cam, it's gonna go that ride down that cam, like twist. It will open towards the jack shaft. Yeah, it's I think it's got, there's no shimming. It's shimming, it would go the other direction. So yeah, I would like it to sit a little bit more true there, but see what happens, see how the belt wear goes. I tried, I got some janky math going on there. It's like they both of them measure like at 36 millimeters, and the X and the Y, they're only 15th thou apart. And it's just my ZRT manual, it has the same specs. So I'm good with the X and the Y being a little off, but the measurement, like our parallels is within our offset, is a little off by 10 millimeters, but it's also a different style clutch. I got two belts, so I'll see what happens. If I have an issue, like I said, if I stick that comment off of the original free air, I think I'm gonna be in the same scenario. So I'm gonna go with that. Circle back around to this carburetor. That's what I came out here to originally do, was actually the caps for the spark plugs. Get those screwed on and then move on to the carburetor here. All right, gap these plugs, BR8 ESs to 28 thou. I also put, for this boot here, on the plug wire, on the plug wire, I put a little Vaseline. You could probably use what is that? Dielectrical grease or something. I just put that on there to help it slide on. All right, get the plug in. I already got the other cap on. Yeah, also, a little bit of anti-seize on the threads helps too. But yeah, I'm gonna get that other cap wire going and get this plug in. All right, got the plugs in and the plug wires. They had a couple boxes of BR8 ESs. It probably does call for 9s. I'll double check tonight. But that's what I got in there for now. Might have some 9s laying around here. I don't know if they'd be new, but for new plugs. But yeah, that's it for now. Actually, I didn't get around to the carburetor. I got to head off to work. So get after the carburetor tomorrow morning. All right, it's Saturday morning. I'm gonna start putting this fan shroud on and getting the carburetor on. So we got a few different length bolts here. One with a big fender washer on it. I already put that support plate there. It takes the two bigger ones. I think the one with the fender washer goes on that clamp. And maybe the two longer ones go on the side there. I think the rest are probably the same. So, yep, I'm gonna start putting those on, and a couple of zip tie, these temp thermistors, what do you want to call them, were zip tied up. And they didn't really want to stretch under the. I think I'm gonna run them underneath that fan shroud. We'll see. All right, got the shroud all on. I did leave one bolt out down here. As many as it's got on there. I'm pretty much over that bolt. Excuse me. But yeah. This throttle block, it's cracked out. I'm gonna try safety wiring it. Let's get this thing up and going for now. The throttle cable was a little kinked at the lever. Remanipulated that with some pliers. Carb fits on there good. Filters seems to be, obviously that'll work good. need to do something with these drain tubes. Are right on the jack shaft there, on the overflow tubes. I have to reroute those. Yeah, I got to clean up the routing, the temp sensors, this throttle cable. It's got a manual choke on it. This does have the original choke right there, and the plungers seem to be working fine. So I'll probably install those. For that one, there's actually 2 chokes and 2 throttles. This was a dual carb setup. But for right now, just getting up and running, that'll work for now. All right, got that safety. That's holding pretty good. Yeah, I lost a lot of time earlier. One of these big bolts here, I lost in the belly pan for a while. That ate up some of my time. Yeah, gotta head off to work. I'm gonna see fuel line still isn't showing up. Maybe I'll see if they have a Tractor Supply. I was thinking about getting a piece of like 36-inch by 1.5 1/4-inch thick steel and sticking that in this clutch just to it'll be closer to what the original tool should be. Just curious, the numbers I think will change slightly, but yeah, that's where I'm at today. Circle back around this possibly tomorrow. Take her easy. All right, Monday afternoon. Merry Christmas. Basically burning some boxes out back, taking a break from the mess inside. Anyhow, kind of figured this carb was going to be a pain in the butt. And the slide is kind of sticky. Cables aren't in the greatest shape, but when I hooked up the carb, the cables wouldn't pull back. I could, you know, push the cable back, push the thumb throttle back, but yeah, the slide appears to be hanging up. Even with the cable disconnected, it slides okay-ish and then it'll bind up. Kind of figured this thing's gonna be a turd. I'm gonna try just a little 2-stroke on it, oil up the slide and see how it goes from there. I'm not sure if you can see that there. There's little like chatter marks on the edge there. Yeah. Not the greatest machining going on there. I'm gonna hit those with some emery cloth and stick it back in. I'm not sure that's causing it, but put a little oil down in there. My finger, just rubbed it around, letting it run down. Clutch measurement, I did find some 1/4-inch and doubled it up. I'm still coming up with the same measurement, which I kind of figured. We'll just see how that goes from there. But I'm gonna get the slide dialed in and put it back in. All right, not sure if you can see this or not. Oh, it's like kind of scoring itself there. I'm gonna run it through by hand a few times off the cable hooked up to see how it does. The slide I noticed is getting scored there, and the barrel of the carb. All right, so a little oil on there. It's sliding good. It's not binding up like it was. I'll see how that backside's wearing. It's just breaking itself in or what. But I'm gonna take the cable luber here and lube up both directions of this cable. It goes to this block here. Kind of got a safety wire job on there. I think I showed that yesterday or the day before. Yeah, I'm gonna flush this cable both directions, each side of it. What I'm gonna use, and get everything hooked back up. All right, I popped that safety wire off I had there holding the cables on. I flushed so I can pull the cables out. Flushed the one cable I'm gonna use pretty good. Now I'm gonna pop this one off the throttle. There's a snap ring underneath there. Gonna pop that snap ring off there to push the pin out to get the throttle off. All right, got that cable flushed out as well as I could. Excuse me. There's that little circlip I was talking about. It was that pin was difficult to get out. It's pretty crusty. I'm gonna give that clean that up and throw it back together, see how it feels. Did look at my in my box of carb parts there are a couple slides. I think the cable might fit in one of these better. We'll see. A little bit more on that. All right, might not look like much, but before, and it was binding up. That cable kind of got a little bit of thrashing. But yeah, straightened it out as best I could. I don't want to destroy it. It's already got a couple, straighten up the kinks as best I could. All right, back to the slide. All right, here we go. Try to show as best I can how that cable sits in that slide. It rests. Shit. Well, good thing I got two of those. Anyhow, the way that cable is it keys into these slides on these original McCuneys. Like, here's the bottom side. Here's an original one. Here's this copycat. The copycat doesn't key in. Like, that's your cover plate you'd have. Once you got that in there, I actually got that backwards, my bad. I believe it goes. I believe it goes in there like that. I might even have that upside down too. Anyhow, point is, the cable on these goes in differently. It takes that little clip deal there. These slides, the original ones, are a lot heavier too. They got a lot more weight to them. Definitely machined a lot better. I stuck one in here just to see how it felt. And it's way nicer than the original one that came with this China Carb. So I'm gonna run one of the original slides out of one of these crappy things, because it's still good and a lot better than this crappy thing that came with the China Carb. So stand by, see how that goes. All right, got the slide in, or on the cable I should say. That's how that piece fits in there. You can see how that cable goes in probably a lot better. Yeah, a little zip tie trick. I get real tired of fighting that spring. I can get old pretty quick. Let's see here. Show the bottom side. See how that fits in there much better. Of course, it's about ready to fall. But yeah, that cable's definitely oozing out some garbage. Yeah, I'll cut those zip ties, wipe that off, and slide that down in there and see how it does like that. All right, after exercising the shit out of this thing, that's where I'm at now. It actually springs back. For a while there, I had to exercise it back and forth. Yeah, pull it, let it go, and it goes back. Maybe take the sleep on that. I think maybe try the other cable. Yeah, one that's a little longer. Maybe wider cable routing. It might be. It's working now, but yeah, I'm just curious. Kind of got a hodgepodge going with this eBay Carb. See how it goes. All right, so I added that piece of safety wire back on there, and now of course it's hanging up a little bit. Yeah, I probably just need to get a whole new single cable run, but I want to hear how it runs first before I go order any more parts. I mean, probably should do a new cable, but I think I'm going to try this other one first, and maybe a little bit of different routing, and go from there. All right, here we are, Tuesday morning, back at it on the El Tigre. Yeah, I did measure up the original slide in the China Carb compared to the original ones from McCuney. Slight difference, but you know, not much. Anyhow, I did fish up a cable, and pretty sure that's oil injection cable on the other end there. Even though this was a single carb setup, this is a cable he sent me with a couple carburetors. I was gonna attempt to use that if I didn't have any luck with what I got going on now, which I did some rerouting. I used the other throttle cable, got a little support clamp going there, but I also used this spring, one of the original carbs out of this box. So it was either the cable routing, and I also lubed the cable up again, or it was the spring, one or the other. Either way, it seems to be working pretty good now. So basically just cleaning up my mess. Fuel line's supposed to be here today. That'll probably show up once I'm off to work. But yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna get the fuel tank back in. I don't know when the fan belt's coming. It might be a day or two. But yeah, getting close. Gonna get the fuel tank in, check for spark, and go from there. Anyhow, I'm gonna get this posted up. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. Have a good week. Later.